New Year's don't pass and you still ain't did nothing about your body. You signed up for the gym, you went one time if you even went. Now spring here and you just sitting around eating, blaming it on COVID. Oh, it's COVID. Now the summer gonna be here, you still gonna be sloppy, out of shape, and unhealthy. Girl, if you gonna sit up and eat some of this damn tea. Drop down in the description box and click the link below to purchase this and other fine products. Ooh, child. So Shekinah and Tiny don't fell out down to the internet. I must say I am really surprised because those two were thick as thieves. But as we break down the details of the situation and I give y'all a couple of demonstrations, maybe then things will begin to make sense as to why this friendship broke down. Want to talk about it? Here it goes. Nessa girl, I was in here last week minding my business like I always do. And I wanted to call y'all last week about this, but I got tied up. I know this story is about 5-6 days old or whatever, but it's been on my mind all weekend and I really want to talk about it. So Tiny and Shekinah have fallen out and the drama has spilled over to the internet. Now look, it's no secret that T.I and Tiny are caught up right now in some sexual abuse, coercion, allegations from a slew of women, citing that they were forced, they gave them drugs, they felt unsafe, yada, 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 yada. I'm sure y'all have heard the story. And when the story broke, Shekinah did this live where she's holding the phone and she's just going in, oh, you know, you clout chasing, and tell them how you was the one helping to receive the girl, helping to recruit the girls. You just mad because they stopped having threesomes with you, yada, 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 yada. Going in. And I remember when I saw Shekinah's live, I just shook my head and said, you big ignorant dummy. As close as you are to them, you gonna say on camera, tell them how you were the ones helping to recruit the girls. Now, if I'm a prosecutor, I would use Shekinah's tape as evidence that there was some truth to what is going on. I put Shekinah on the stand and say, yes, recruiting the girls to do just what? So you do admit girls were recruited. Why were third parties used to help recruit these girls? Were you present during said recruitment sessions? What did recruitment look like? Like, you implicated T.I and Tiny. And at that moment, I felt like it's going to be a matter of time before they fall out. Because once they figure out, or once the attorneys bring about the fact that Shekinah's sentiments did not help their situation, that they were going to get to feeling salty. But lo and behold, that ain't even the true reason. Shekinah got mad because the internet unleashed on her ass. The internet completely unleashed on her ass. And Shekinah said the last straw that broke the camel's back was the simple fact that Tiny did not come to her defense. And that's what I want to talk about. But before we talk about that, let me read what Shekinah said. She said, the last straw for her, when I made the comments about the allegations against her, she was in the room with me. The motherfucker was sitting right there with me. She the one telling me what to say, and then when all y'all in America go crazy on me, my own supposed to be friends sit there and let y'all take me down. Knowing I ain't got shit to do with none of that shit going on, she let the world tear me up. I was cool, Shekinah continued, after she started tearing up. Still didn't go crazy. Y'all ain't never seen me go to Wendy Williams with a story. It woke me up to let me know this girl don't fuck with you. Sitting here and telling me what to say about a good goddamn lady I don't know nothing about. And then you sit there and when the world takes me down, you let me go out. You let me go out with these motherfuckers. So we're all human, right? And I could understand how Shekinah would want some type of defense. But I'm just trying to be rational, logical, reasonable, and reasonable here. Shekinah, number one, you don't get to play victim to a situation you created. In both of these paragraphs I just read, you first time said the shit ain't got nothing to do with you. You secondly said she had you talking about a goddamn lady that you don't even know. That's more the reason why you should have kept your goddamn mouth closed. You see Candy ass ain't said nothing. You see Monica ass ain't said nothing. You see Toya Wright ass ain't said nothing. You see Latoya Lucky ass ain't said nothing. Nobody else chose to get involved with this situation than you. And quite frankly, you didn't help it. You heard it. Secondly or thirdly, you know, Shekinah, you have a problem. You have an attention-seeking, I want to be seen problem constantly. Everything in your life plays out on Instagram Live. And for the life of me, I don't know why. I'm going to tell y'all something, and I never revealed this to y'all before. Y'all ask me why I don't do lives, right? And no shade. The reason why I don't do lives is because when live first came out, I would see Shekinah doing lives where she legitimately would just be sitting up in the car or walking around and just doing absolutely nothing for an hour, 45 minutes span of time. And my first impression of live is that this is corny, it's whack, and I don't want to be Shekinah. That's why I don't do lives, y'all. Unless it's an interview or something, I'm not about to walk through the grocery store or be sitting in the car just babbling on about nothing. It's my own self-esteem and I guess my own insecurity, because I don't think nobody want to sit there and see me babble on about absolutely nothing. I don't come to y'all unless I got something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I don't play my life out on live. Nevertheless, Shekinah, you stepped into something that had nothing to do with you, and you don't now get to be the victim. Here's the other thing. You know, I call a little, you need to reassess the situation and grow up, Shekinah, because of this. Shekinah, you have been in media long enough, just like I'm in media, and after a certain while, y'all, you develop thick skin, blinders, and basically I don't even see it attitude when it comes to people going in on you and making negative comments. You can't exist in this space without developing some type of way to tune that stuff out and not have an emotional response to it. Shekinah wanted Tiny to come to her defense, but the reality of the situation is, Shekinah, you were not in any danger. You're not in danger of losing anything. You're not in danger of going to jail. You're not in danger of having to be sued. So with all that Tiny is going through right now, she got to save all her energy for her own defense. You want this lady to step away from the idea that she and her husband may be in some sort of legal trouble to come over here and defend you from a non-dangerous, non-life-threatening, non-life-altering situation. I think it's unreasonable. I think your expectation of her in this moment is unreasonable. Now don't get me wrong. We're all human. You have the right to feel the way you feel. And I can completely understand you saying, damn, you know, I wish Tiny would say something. I said something on her behalf. I get that. But here's the other thing that I want to point out. And this is really going to be the meats and potatoes in the sermon that's going to take y'all home. Y'all relationship has always been lopsided. Y'all relationship has always been lopsided, and you've always been Tiny's minion and her do-girl. You have. Y'all have heard me say this before. I side-eye people who keep lesser people around them. And I'm not saying that anybody is better than anybody. That is not what I'm implying. But lesser people people who can't move the way you move, people who can't do the things you do. That suggests to me, when you keep lower people around you, lower financial, lower accomplished, lower educated people around you, it suggests to me that you have a king or a queen complex, and that you need to feel important because you feel invisible with people on your level around you who could do the same things that you do. Do you know how uncomfortable it is to go to a high-end mall and got 2 or 3 bitches with you while you in there buying $900 shoes and $3,000 bags, and they walking around with their mouth poked out? So now you got 1 or 2 choices. You can let them keep walking through the mall with their mouth poked out, or you could buy them a keychain and a piece of wallet out of Louis Vuitton to make them feel better. Do you know how tiresome it gets when you go places with 2 or 3 bitches who ain't got no money and you always gotta pay? That shit gets old. But the fact that you continue to do it, Tiny and others, suggests that you're getting something out of it. And what you're getting out of it is your soul fed, because you're either insecure or lacking something or don't feel important in the real world. And this is a place where you can feel important when you got 3, 4, 5 people behind you who don't have what you have and can't move the way you move. You become the queen of the pack. Now the flip side of that is, when you're a Shekinah or others and you're rolling with a Tiny and others like her, you are inclined to put up with and deal with shit that you would not deal with your other friends who are on your level. And here is why. Because you're getting something out of the deal. You're getting clout. You're getting entry into the parties and the clubs and the events. You getting leftover hair, like Mama Joyce said Karma was getting from Candy. You getting leftover shoes, clothes. You getting money. You getting access to other celebrities. You getting to go places and do things that you wouldn't be able to do on your own money. So it's a symbiotic relationship that's both rooted in toxicity. And for Tiny and Shekinah, it lasted as long as it lasted. Now listen, I'm not saying you get money and you switch out on people you knew when you didn't have any. By no means. But y'all have heard the saying, everybody can't go. And so relationships change. Instead of spending the primary amount of my time with this group of people over here, I've now elevated. So I spend the bulk of my time with these new relationships that feed where I am in life right now. And I come kick it with y'all on special occasions and holidays. And I'm always there for you when you need me. And of course, you may have that one bestie, that one cousin, that no matter what, they coming with you. And that's cool too. But normally when you have that one person, you don't mind paying. You don't mind buying them stuff. You don't mind saying, in your mind, I don't want my cousin, I don't want my best friend Tiffany to feel like a million. So when we go shopping with the other girls, when I get up with Monica and Toya and Candy and all of them, I'm going to give her $10,000 in the car while nobody watching, so she can have the confidence to flow through the mall like the rest of us and pick up whatever she want to pick up. That's how that go. You know what I'm saying? That's how that go. But you can't bring everybody. You know, Shekinah reveals that she was working for tips in the beginning of her career. She was working for tips and pennies on the dollar. Again, just so happy to be there. Now, let's face it. Shekinah has benefited more from the relationship with Tiny than Tiny has been with Shekinah. No tea, no shade, but there's 10 million people in Atlanta who can do hair. As a result of the association with Shekinah, as a result of the association with Tiny, Shekinah ultimately landed the VH1 stuff, so on and so forth. So she greatly benefited from the relationship and the association. It's just sad that this happened. Now, Tiny didn't have time to come to Shekinah's defense publicly, but she did have time to collect her on the IG, calling her a dizzy bitch. Tiny cited that while I appreciate her coming to my defense as a friend, I didn't tell her to say anything. So Tiny's whole thing was, you know, I didn't tell her to say anything. You know, Negroes have a way of bending the truth or lying by omission. And I'm willing to go out on a limb and say, Tiny didn't sit in her ear and say, girl, I need you to get on live and say this right here, say this right here, say this right here. But it was a more of we sitting around talking and Tiny going off. And Shekinah picked up the line and repeated everything Tiny was saying. And you can tell by a person's energy and gestures and the way they respond to you when they appreciate what it is you're saying and they're low-key encouraging it. Case in point, when a little baby start cussing or something and then everybody erupt in laughter, what does that do? Encourage him to keep doing it. And what does the mama say? Y'all stop laughing so he can stop doing it. It's the positive reinforcement. So Shekinah was probably going off on the line and Tiny was in the background giving her positive reinforcement, and Shekinah processed that as her telling me what to say. The last point that I want to leave with, going back to, you see Tiny, you see Candy ain't said nothing, the other people ain't said nothing. Y'all, you have to be careful blindly riding for people publicly, especially when your reputation is on the line. Because I don't care how well you think you know somebody, you're not with them 24 hours a day. You don't know what somebody is doing behind closed doors, and you don't know what they're capable of. Half of y'all don't even know what your husband's doing. How many of y'all out there been cheated on or whatever the case may be, and you never knew it was going on, and you never thought in a million years it would happen to you? How many of y'all daddies, you know, daddy passed away or some woman come knock on y'all door talking about she your daddy child and she the same age as you, and y'all didn't even know she existed. Now your mama about to have a heart attack. How many of y'all granddaddies and daddies had whole other families across the town, but you never thought Papa, who was the deacon, could do that? You don't never know what people capable of doing. How many of y'all don't slept with your friend's husband and she don't know you did it? You're still going around the house to her children's birthday party smiling up in her face using her toilet paper. How many of y'all Negroes out there that don't smash y'all homeboy girlfriend or his sister or his mama, you nasty buzzards, and still going to the football games with this dude? So I say all that to say, you don't know what people capable of. You never know. And you got to be reasonable, logical, whatever the case may be. I understand that we all want to think the best of our family members. We do. But y'all can't tell me in good conscience. Y'all cannot tell me in good conscience that you honestly believe something nefarious did not go on at T.I and Tiny house. And that's not me being in a rush to want to condemn them. That's not me not wanting to support black people. That's not me trying to tear black people down. One person, okay. Two people, okay. I'm gonna be generous. 3 people, maybe. All these doggone people who don't know each other, who live in different parts of the United States, who all share the same story with the same, you know, theme and plot, and miss me with it was some DMs that came out that said they was telling the girls to lie. That's some old spin doctor shit. Then it came out that they was trying to pay some of the people off through their attorney. Why are you trying to pay folks off? Something happened. And in short, I want to read something to y'all. I want to read something to y'all about how T.I and Tiny gonna get caught up, in my opinion. So their defense is, we didn't rape nobody, we didn't make nobody do nothing against their will. Everybody came willingly, and all you street lawyers are co-signing that, and I agree. T.I and Tiny are going to get caught up by the legal definition of coercion. That is what they're going to get caught up in. And let me read you the legal definition of coercion. The intimidation of a victim to compel that individual to do an act against his or her will by the use of psychological pressure, physical force, or threat. The crime of intentionally and unlawfully restraining another's freedom by threatening to commit a crime, accusing the victim of a crime, disclosing any secret that would seriously impair the victim's reputation in the community, or by performing or refusing to perform an official action lawfully requested by the victim by causing the official to do so. A defense asserted in a criminal prosecution that a person who committed a crime did not do so of his or her own free will, but only because the individual was compelled by another through the use of physical force or threat of immediate serious bodily injury or death. What does this mean for them? Yes, them girls went over there voluntarily with the intentions of having sex or partying. Once they got there, some of them say their phones were taken away, they were yelled at, they did not know where they were, they did not have a car. Which means what? Now I'm in a foreign situation and psychological pressure has been put on me to do what? Not upset these people and make them mad because something might happen to me. And that was the common thread between all those girls' stories. I'm over here with T.I and Tiny. It's these niggas over here. It's all these people over here looking at me. I don't do drugs. They screaming at me. I don't have my phone. I don't have my pocketbook. I don't know where I'm at. I normally don't do this, but it's either do this or something might happen to me. That's the story that the girls are crying. And that's what's going to get them caught up. This has gotten lengthy, y'all. I just want to talk to y'all about it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Hit the bell button for notifications every time I get on the line. And I'm going to call y'all a little later on the day after lunch. Bye.